Welcome to the fourth and last week of the Ganbatte Sketchbook Challenge. The challenge to push us to use the mediums we use rarely, we don't like in the first glance, we bought and never used, or the new ones that we want to actually use a lot. This challenge has very basic rules. Main aim is discover new style, reuse mediums that we rarely use, so avoid disposals, discover something new that we didn't think about before, or confirm that we don't like those mediums and don't buy again. Rules are very simple. It's a weekly challenge, but you can do on your pace. I do it in the month of February, so every week of February for 4 weeks. Same subject, so choose a subject you are comfortable with, something in your place like my bookshelf or your cat or a portrait of yourself or someone you know, or a picture you took on a travel. Draw it with different mediums every single week of the challenge. I suggested to use a mixed media sketchbook for that because most of the time you want to use different mediums that can be a bit more aggressive on the paper, like alcohol marker or watercolor. Beyond that, I suggest you to just sparkle your creativity and go for it. Stay tuned for the end of the video because I will tell you my personal experience with this sketchbooks challenge, what I learned, what I confirmed, what I discovered new. See you in the end of the video. Let's go for the fourth week. Let's see which art supplies I'm gonna use for the fourth week of the Ganbatte Sketchbook Challenge. Sketchbook is still the same. I left one page empty in order to complete the challenge. Week 3 I used ink and fine liner, while week 2 I used graphic pen and Ecolane brush pens, and first week I used dip pen and ink with watercolor wash. What I'm gonna use this week is something I bought and basically used only once. I really dislike this, so I don't have big hopes for this guy. Is a bamboo, basically piece of bamboo that is gonna be dipped in some ink. There is also this brush bristle. I don't know how it's gonna work, this stuff. Something also you may know from my art supplies I regret buying video is Aqua Bronze. Schmincke, many of you wrote me in that video for 1 year ago. I had to mix this guy with something, and indeed I mixed once with watercolor, some pale color like a yellow. It actually helped. I think the point that helped was the gamma arabic inside the watercolor. That's why someone else of you suggest me to mix it directly with gamma arabic. This is also something I bought in order to improve the lifting properties of the watercolor, but I use only once, I guess, so let's go for this, guys. As for ink, meanwhile I choose this blue Revelry from Ferris Wheel Press, anniversary 15 years. They recently sent me this and it's just one of my favorite inks ever. Is a deep blue color with many shades. They also sent me these guys here. There is a gray one and a green one. This one, gray, goes in couple with this rollerball pen. Their packaging and products are simply unique, so I suggest you to have a look to their catalog. You know I have a 50% off with my promo code if you want to buy anything from them. So first thing I noticed about this bamboo brush pen, it can hold a lot of ink. You have to refill it quite often. On the other side, you can get lighter marks or darker ones depending on how filled it is. I started with a very bad mark in the beginning, a strong one, and I will struggle a bit to hide it later on. But no matter what, I go on. The point is not to make a nice drawing here, it's just to discover the capabilities of our art supplies, and eventually something is gonna work. So the marks are not that easy to control with this bamboo stick. Otherwise, I can actually work with it. It's not that bad. It's not like a proper dip pen, of course, but it's fun enough to be used. So as you see, I managed to hide that bad mark in the beginning by changing the perspective of top plane of the bookshelf. If you're joining the challenge as well, try to trick yourself by using different drawing techniques like continuous line drawing or making a blob of color and then drawing on top of it. So don't be too much repetitive in order to check out some new possibilities on your drawing process. And then I'm going for the brush part of this bamboo stick. Let's see how it works. So I have to say that I actually like it. I mean, I probably use it with watercolor, otherwise I cannot see why I dislike it so much to be used only once, because actually it works pretty well with ink. Spread so beautifully, and I have also quite accurate brush strokes. But let's try now to go to the second part of this week of the challenge, mixing the Gamma Arabic Winsor & Newton with the gold Schmincke Aqua Bronze powder. That main problem that was the particle going fading away basically forever, and that means that your drawing are leaving particles of gold everywhere. But this time I have to say you will be surprised. Check out. So summing up, what did I learn from this sketchbook challenge? First of all, here is still a bit wet. Let's try here. It seems that particles are not moving out with Arabic gum. That was the major problem of this Schmincke Aqua Bronze. The effect is absolutely gorgeous. First lesson learned of this week challenge is that I'm gonna use this guy again, and actually I have to admit that this one also is not that bad. It's kinda hard to control and the mark is thick, but particularly for ink I think it works pretty well. I think it's thought for ink in the beginning. Maybe I use it for watercolor the first time, I don't know. This week of the challenge was absolutely a win situation, basically. Thanks also for those in the comments that suggest me to give a second opportunity to this powder, because it's actually kind of expensive, so I was not happy to just keep it there unused. Going back to week 3, at this one in continuous line drawing is always fun to do this. Tell me in the comments below if you did the challenge as well with a continuous line drawing. I can confirm though that the Winsor & Newton ink I use here are kind of pale and way too less saturated for what I like in an ink. Most probably not gonna use them again and not buying more of them. Week 2, this was Ecoline brush pens. Something is kind of hard to use. Lesson learned from that week is that I can just smudge that on a piece of plastic and use them as normal watercolor. They are super bright, so you can dilute, mix with some other color to mute it down. But I think they work pretty well as travel watercolor. If you don't want to bring a palette, those are kind of lightweight as they are basically the marker, a water-based marker. Maybe this way I'm gonna use them. I was using as well the graphic pen Sakura Pigma Micron here with a flat tip, and this one has a quite thick line, is a number 2, so I'm not very sure I'm happy with that. That's why I haven't used that much so far. Deep pen is always fun, but something I learned from week 1 of the challenge is that I rather use dip pen and ink on a very calm situation on a table, taking all my time to play with the line weight and so on, because it's a kind of tricky and accurate technique to be used. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the challenge, you took part of it. Anyway, you will learn something from your own mistakes and from your unused art supplies. They all deserve some love, so give them, take your time to use them again and give a second chance. I wish you enjoy this challenge and I see you in the next video soon. Thanks for watching, bye!